up is Eduard from Holify, a company that builds these incredible software tools that leverage vertical videos and make your customers feel like they're experiencing your products through their phone screens. Some of their tools include vertical video real estate tours and product demos. So in his talk, he's revealing how to add multiple dimensions to your own brand experience. Eduard, the stage is yours.
Hey, I want to start by thanking you all for joining and taking the time to listen to a tech entrepreneur talking about a domain traditionally dominated by marketing gurus. I'm going to go through a few observations today that help me connect the dots for the company that I co-founded and currently lead, Holify. And it has to do with everything that the physical retail space can teach us about what's wrong with e-commerce today. So, a great thing about looking at an age-old problem with new eyes is that you can't help not noticing the obvious truths. In 2019, while we were busy building software to augment physical spaces, I noticed that entrepreneurs in the e-commerce industry were celebrating conversion rates of 3% after spending millions of dollars getting people through the funnel. And that got me thinking. I began looking at it from a physical store perspective. Let's take a cliche example of success, Apple. Here is their most successful store in the world, the Nanjing East store, which attracts about 25,000 people per day. The average conversion rate of a physical store is 20 to 40%. I would say Apple is somewhere in the higher end of this scale. Now, let's have a look at their online store. Now, if you take their equivalent online store, it generally pulls about 26 million people a day. That's over 800 million visits a month. Now, let's look at them side by side. What attributes do we see in the first example? A physical store has people in it, right? 25,000 of them, buzzing every day. That place is alive. Make no mistake about it. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I land on Apple's website, I'm in a beautiful, empty mall, surrounded by ads. Humans are nowhere to be found. 26 million visits a day, and I still feel all alone. See, e-commerce stores are in a strange place, where they outsource their community and social activity on other high engagement platforms, while they're building the empty store that was envisioned for 56 kilobyte modems. Now, the second thing is that there are places that educate, curate, entertain, or places you can just get help in. This is the best version of what currently ships from a $1 trillion company. Not something to tell stories about, right? Now, the third thing we notice is that they're spacious, well-designed, and generally are places we enjoy spending time in. What we're noticing on the other end is that digital spaces get smaller. What do I mean by that? Well, the advent of mobile browsing brought us from shop equivalents to boxed-in experiences. See, we have this impression that websites are an infinite space, but this is absolutely not the case. The reason we host websites on a domain and we define screen sizes as real estate is precisely because we have a digital space that shares a lot of characteristics with the physical one. We took what was a mall and stuffed it in a 3x2 box and hoped it all works out. Now, this is not an interface problem. This is a medium problem. And let me show you why. Here's the first online transaction that happened in the UK in 1984. An old woman used the telex system on her TV to purchase groceries from Tesco. Does this look familiar to you? She was persuaded by the most powerful communication medium ever created, video broadcasting, to land in a place designed for a 2 kilobyte transfer rate to complete a purchase. She got in, purchased, got out. We see this pattern replicated till today, over and over and over again. Very much like 50 years ago, we're starting to persuade people on social platforms through rich video content to then land them on a static environment, hoping they will finalize the purchase. We take people from immersive rich experiences to drop them in the space designed for the bandwidth of telephone modems. We did not change much in the last 50 years, but something did change. Here is what data is showing us about the usage of the most powerful medium known to mankind. Do you see the pattern? Video apps take over 62% of our monthly data stream, while browsing a mere 3%. That just shows where the bandwidth of information gets allocated. What social platforms have realized early on is that by choosing the correct medium, your company increases its communication bandwidth capacity to such an extent that it can easily become social, spacious, authentic, and engaging, and a dynamic place, which is exactly what a physical store is. What we noticed in our first use cases was that video alone more than 10x the time spent on a website accessed from a mobile device. And I'm not talking about creating more video ads. It's completely different. For the first time, companies had the communication bandwidth to become educators, curators, and entertainers through the very products or spaces that they sell. Now, let's recap the physical shop traits that we can replicate online through video. We got spacious. A video has 30 to 60 frames per second, 256 kilobytes sound, a language layer, and a context when it is shown. If you put these elements together, we get a whole that is much greater than the sum of its parts, and effectively achieve a 50 to 100x more information being delivered every minute in the same real estate. We get a place that is social. Now, if it's not going to be the likes and the views that make it social, is the simple fact that it will have humans in them. And that is just enough to feel like you're not all alone in an empty store. It's a place to educate. Now, this is obvious. You can get to show and tell, from unboxings to how to use. It's going to be simple. And a place to entertain. Give people a reason to come back. Don't do ads. I know it's ad world, but don't do ads on your turf. Use it to give people a reason to come back. Could be investment in a masterclass. Could be influencers in the field that could show you things you never thought possible with the products that you have. Everything in there eventually leads to sales, to a better conversion, to a better retention, and overall a better customer satisfaction. And ultimately, have a brand voice. Start telling the story and create a community that is fully in your control. Don't create the empty shop that no one wants to be in. Don't do that. Use the ads to attract people to come to a beautiful shop. Create a place where people truly want to come back to. That is on my side. Have a beautiful day, and hopefully you got enough information out of this to go out there and do some happy filming. My name is Edward. I'm the CEO at Holify, and it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Bye.